Her name is Plume, and she is a 3-star character, which supposedly is trash compared to like other legendary characters because...
It is my duty to protect you, Doctor. Rest assured.
Oh, thank you so much, Plume. And I really love her. Look, I even had her as my phone wallpaper. I mean, just look at her design here. She looks like she is ready for anything, right? That is a proper uniform with like a puffy sleeve. You can never go wrong with that. It is a proper simple outfit with a little bit of Zetai Ryoiki fan service. Look it up if you don't know what that is. Look at those ahoke. Don't you want to pat her on the head for like job well done? And her attitude is a no-nonsense serious girls that can act adorable. That might actually spoil a bit of what kind of girls I'm into in games and in real life. And this voice line?
Don't worry, Doctor. No matter what happens, I'll protect you.
Adorable, right? And if you're still not convinced, have you look at her concept art. Look at that! She is hiding that beautiful body! With that being said though, this video is not just me simping about her. This is also an opportunity for us to learn more about her backstory. There is this thing that could happen when your operator reaches a certain amount of trust and then they reach a maximum amount of level. So supposedly, you will get like a personal backstory. Let's see what happens when Plume reaches level 55. She is going to be the first character that I level up to maximum.
Ah, so tactics can help you overcome a more skilled opponent, huh?
Oh, a grand distant ideal, operator record. A cleric, a scientist, a medic, a government worker, a power plant technician. Leah, what do you want to be when you grow up? You want to join the guards? Isn't that an awfully boring job? Like, you have to stand at the entrance of the city and try to keep a straight face when someone tells you a joke. You have to get out of bed before sunrise to start your drills. You also have to take a ton of tests, and you'll only become a fully fledged member after passing all of them. You're not very tall, you're not in very good shape, and you'd struggle to pass those tests, you know? I see. So you want to protect others? Leah, you have a very grand and lofty ideal. Eastern Columbia Wastelands. Stay calm. We won't be able to use the communicator until the next base station. This is a normal phenomenon. Sure, understood. Seems like you haven't been on many field operations since joining Rhodes Island. Oh, this is present day. Yeah, sorry. I like practical experience, so I'll work harder to make up for it. If I remember right, you were one of the Laterano's city guards? A member of the guards. Defending Laterano is indeed one of my duties. Or rather, was. Now, I'm a Rhodes Island operator. You certainly conduct yourself with the air of a guard. I often see you standing a lookout on the deck. The others have taken to calling you that Laterano guard. I can relate to that sense of vigilance though. There are always lurking threats, even inside the landship. And it can be an honor to be known by your duties. That's all in the past now. Well, it wasn't that long ago, but still, I prefer to go by Plume. That said, I'm not really sure how to introduce myself. After coming to Rhodes Island, I never got put in a permanent squad, nor did I get a welcoming party. The work I do here is also very different from what I did in Laterano, and I've been having trouble adjusting. I understand. Watch out! There are snipers nearby. Multiple. Bandits? Not sure if they're after Rhodes Island, or just wasteland opportunists. Conventional weaponry, judging from the bolt, looks like they had their eyes on the logistics escort mission for quite some time now. There aren't many places to bunker down in this terrain, and the enemy snipers won't have much cover, but setting up my crossbow here is still risky. I'll protect you. I've received similar training in Laterano, often with squad mates using guns. I'll deal with any attackers who try to close the distance. Alright, be careful out there. As long as we're exchanging fire at this range, I'm more than confident in my own weapon specs. Plume keeps moving at a high speed so enemies can land a shot. She is drawing their attention away from where Firewatch is hiding. No problem. This guy's knife doesn't have as much reach as my poleaxe. I can safely handle a frontal attack as well. Now, create some distance so the enemy snipers won't feel worried about friendly fire. When they make their move, Firewatch will lock onto their positions and return fire. What? They're not aiming for me, but at where Firewatch is lying in ambush? I'm burning through my stamina faster than expected. Get it together. I need to cover Firewatch while she repositions. No, that's not right. So far, I've done everything exactly by the book, like we train. But if I know these tactics by heart, the other side might too. Before discussing possible interference in Broad Silence affair from rival businesses in Colombia, I'd like to bring up one of the operators involved in this mission, Plume. I just looked up some records, and she's been going on a few too many field operations recently. Actually, her schedule is already tightly packed through the next month. I bring this up because although these missions are generally less dangerous, that doesn't mean she's not building up fatigue. We could be at significant risk were they to be attacked by a mercenary organization during this escort mission. To be honest, nobody noticed that she submitted so many assignment requests all at once. From what I recall, she was never a fan of taking on missions. The last time she went on a mission with Reserve Op Team A6 to rescue infected children, it was her first field operation. I remember it clearly, because I was the squad leader. Ha! That's right. Even though everyone's seen her around, nobody actually know her codename. Most just call her that Lateral Guard on the deck. It is what it is though. We told her not to sign up for missions. I've tried talking to her before, but she seemed... how do I put this? Rather aloof? One night, I saw her standing there staring up into the sky, so I asked if she was interested in giving astrology a try. After all, my divination has earned even the doctor's recognition. Turns out, she didn't even know what astrology is. She listened to my explanation very politely, but didn't seem at all interested. Alas, what a terrible shock that was. Oh, she was mumbling some mystical mumbo-jumbo the other day. She got that from you then. When she accompanied Backfire to medical 2 days ago, she was muttering about faces and zeniths and so on. I wanted to slap her out of it, right on the treatment table. She may have missed the point somewhat, but I'm glad she at least remembered the words. Dr. Gabriel, the kids from A6 are afraid to go to the medical for checkups. If you could just work on your bedside manner. No can do. If they're afraid of the croc doc, that's their problem. Psychologically speaking. Speaking of which, did the member of A6 work well with Plume that one operation you had to go together? Extremely. She's a very well trained fighter. To be honest, I wish the rest of the team would take orders half as well as she did. And on the way back, she was very enthusiastic about teaching Catapult and Poppycar how to write an operation report. However, she never offered any of her own opinions until the mission debriefing. If she'd taken initiative during the operation itself, things might have gone even better. Maybe she found the members of A6 too unreliable and didn't dare suggest changing plans in the middle of battle. She's too rigid! We're not the army here, and our main advantage comes from our flexibility to adjust to any changes. Oh, right. From what I've heard of other operations, you used to be a healer of a tribe, right? You must have been good at leading large groups and large fights. Ha! You spend way too much time rubbing shoulders with the folks in HR. But my past is not as simple as that, unfortunately. Ugh. Charge forward again, then retreat in the direction of Firewatch. Ha! Tricked them. Enemy sniper down. Plume, create some distance. On it. The attackers have been dealt with. A job well done. You led them towards where I was hiding, not away. This threw off their intuitions, confusing them into thinking I was hiding elsewhere. When snipers face off in the open wilderness, the moment someone reveals their position with their attention at the wrong spot, they're done for. Your quick thinking was both brave and incredibly smart. Thank you. I was about to apologize for acting on my own, though. That strategy could have put you at risk, and we didn't agree on it beforehand. I was supposed to cover you, but ended up doing the exact opposite. No, I'm very glad that you chose in the moment to put your faith in me and trust my abilities. Yes, it's something another senior at Rhodes Island taught me before. She said she hoped I could trust my companions more, as well as my own judgment. What's wrong? Are you hurt? I'm fine. I'll probably just push myself too hard. Head back to the vehicle first and rest then. We'll make our way to the en route safe house ASAP and report this attack to the Rhodes Island landship. Let me help. That weapon of yours might be a bit too heavy for you right now. Thanks. But I can handle my own poleaxe. I've trained with it so much that it's basically a part of me. I can tell that you're academy trained. You're quick to respond to surprise attacks, take action without hesitation, and can nimbly try and cover while in the line of fire of two different snipers. But I don't think any academy would teach a poleaxe user to sacrifice weapons powers and rely on speed. You're right, I didn't follow the standard guard training. The seniors in my squad privately suggested that I offset my weaknesses by bolstering my strengths, so I incorporated some tricks into my fighting style and barely passes the course. A very good trade-off, if you ask me. Have you ever considered taking up on a different weapon, though? Most of the guard forces uses poleaxe, though. Of course, that's your decision to make. But since you already found your personal style, it shouldn't be a problem either way. Have you recovered a little? I drank some saline waters and already feel a lot better. I did make a mistake earlier, which made me burn through my stamina too quickly. I wasn't pacing myself at the start of the fight. What you remind me of, from what I'm familiar with at least, is a prey animal that's been hunted day and night. Have you gotten enough rest lately? Huh? I don't have anything like that going on. As a matter of fact, it feels really fulfilling to have a duty to carry out each and every day. Every day? When I first came to Rhodes Island, I have no idea what I was supposed to be doing. Recently, I realized that I should be taking the initiative to apply for missions. While I can more and less understand how you feel, going on too many field operations is unreasonable. You need rest, and your weapon needs maintenance too. Have you even been to the engineering department since coming to Rhodes Island? Huh? No, but I think my weapon is in pretty good shape. Don't worry, the craftspeople here are familiar with Othrana weapons. There are several masters in a repair shop who can fix even guns with ease. They might even be able to give you some ideas on how to upgrade your poleaxe to make it more comfortable. Good idea, I'll keep that in mind. Honestly, I've been thinking the same thing. My weapon could use some modifications since our tasks here are so different from the guard forces. Let's get a move on. The sun's starting to set, and we need to reach the safe house before dark. And that's a full overview of the field operation. After dispatching the ambushers at the outset, we encounter no other threats. The attackers were obviously mercenaries, and I've been collecting the bolts they use. Unfortunately, the information alone cannot reveal the identity of whoever's behind this. I'll leave them here with the report, Doctor. If you have no other questions, I'll take my leave. I'll also... Hold on a moment, Plume. Someone from HR wants to talk to you. Alright. I'm honored that you remember my codename, Doctor. Oh, medic! Yeah, well, not exactly. It's just like a generic NPC model, I guess. Your application to serve as a doctor's bodyguard has been carefully reviewed. Unfortunately, the doctor has decided that a personal bodyguard is unnecessary while aboard the Rhodes Island landship. Oh, that's something I sent out earlier. Thank you for your time and patience. I'm sorry that my abilities are not up to par. You don't need to take it that seriously, Plume. The good news is that you've been recognized for your performance in recent field missions, and the doctor will need escorts when conducting operations away from the ship. In other words, I got the job? That's right. That said, one of our operators reported that you've been applying for an unusually high number of field missions. As HR department staff, I need to know the reason. Although you've been pretty tight-lipped about your past, you did come with those 2 Laterano operators after all. I don't know what they've been through, nor do I have right to ask. What I'm trying to say is that I've heard a word or two about your pre-Rhodes Island situation from them. The way they put it was that they felt bad for you because you seem so lost and directionless all the time, which is why they brought you out of Laterano. Considering that you still value Laterano glory, but have been dismissed from the guard forces, I would like to confirm your motives are taking on these recent field missions. Are you regretting the decision you made at the time? No, I don't regret it. At least, not anymore. I can trust my own judgment now. In the face of life and death, the rules can be bent. And after coming to Rhodes Island, I realized that people with oropathy don't infect others simply by walking down the street, nor are they just waiting for death to come. Seeing how Backfire is still alive and conscious, can still participate in training, and can still talk to the captain as energetically as before, it truly makes me happy. I've also come to terms with the fact that I can go back to Laterano guards. Rhodes Island and Laterano are completely different places, and I've also had to change. Plus, I'm really fascinated by the things people talk about here, even if I don't fully understand them. In my experience, field missions give me more opportunities to work with my teammates and should help me better integrate into the group. About that, actually, many operators bond over common interests such as Pinecone's woodcrafting group or Vigna's band. Speaking of which, they seem to be missing a bass player right now. Thanks for letting me know. I'll think about it. By the way, Firewatch recommended the Vita Field clothing brand to me. I heard they're currently in a business relationship with us. Can you tell me more about it? Plume? Go ahead and show her around. Alright, if it's fine with you, Doctor. I'll go grab one of my colleagues then. Damn. Okay, so the story itself is not that great or like amazing. It is good. But the one thing that I have to applaud it is that Arknights writers are very efficient in their storytelling. In the span of just like 15 minutes, they managed to cram in like who is Plume, what is her backstory, what is her belief, what is her struggle, what does she want, and the solution to all of that. I can't say the same for like Genshin writers though. As like a veteran 3 years old Genshin player, it's very rare to get like a decent story on like Genshin story quests and stuff. So at least now I know that Arknight writers are competent. They know like the very basics of storytelling. Like how to build a good character and how to tell them efficiently. I don't want to turn like every Arknight praises into like throwing shades at Genshin, but it is a welcome change from like all the monotony that I got in Genshin. In some of the Genshin story quests, I don't want to throw shades here, but this is just fact. They spend 2 hours basically telling nothing about the character and just focusing on the NPC. And once again, the very reason that I start playing Arknights is because I was frustrated with like Genshin storytelling, right? Now, of course, the unfortunate thing here is I don't think she will have like any sequel of her story. Her story doesn't seem to be like finished there, and I don't think she appears in any of the events. So maybe in the future she's going to get like an altar outfit. Maybe we will get like a 6-star Plume in the future, or like 5-star Plume in the future. I'm going to be happy about that. Come on, Hypergraph. Do it. Do it. But we are not done yet, because there is still one more thing that you can get if you level your characters up to the maximum. And that is called the Paradox Simulation. Nimble Wings. The time she leads a charge into the battlefield aren't down to her sufficient agility or adaptive capability, but just because she reckons it is her responsibility to scout battlefield information for her squadmates, winning time to act. And when she has to retreat, she leaves the battlefield immediately, never having thought to share in the feat of her squadmates' final victory. Her dream isn't to become a hero, she simply wants to protect others. However, what is it the commander surveying the whole scene sees? Honestly, that is an apt description of her role as a vanguard in this game, because vanguards are supposed to be like a unit that you place at the beginning of the battle, and then you replace with like a stronger units later down in the level. Plume is actually not a bad operator, for like the early game at least. Her talent actually allows her to get like one deployment point every time she kills an enemy. As you can see here in this stage, the deployment point doesn't actually regenerate, which is kind of like a big problem, but oh, I think I need to reinforce her with someone.
Sleep on the job.
Oh, okay, and this stage actually means that I cannot let a single one of them pass. Oh, and by the way, Plume uses a poleaxe, which is one of my favorite weapons in the medieval times. Even though Arknights is not exactly medieval, but I digress. Oh, there's so many of them though.
Can escape my sight.
Take aim.
Yep, okay, that's enough. We don't even need a shielder for that. Nice.
Like a wave crashing against an immovable stone, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so I guess this must be like some sort of a test if we understand Plume's advantage over other operators and how to use her correctly. But the better approach would be to have like every operator has like 2 of these levels at the beginning and at the end. So when Plume was just like recently recruited, at level 1 we're going to have like this kind of level, but it's way easier so that at least we know what we're getting, right? The problem with Arknights and like other gacha games in general is that you have so many operators, but you barely have enough time to like test them all out, right? So if we have like a level that showcases that operator's biggest strength and weakness at the beginning, and one final test at the end where we are tested whether we understand that operator's strength and how to use them, then yeah, that's going to be a pretty solid thing. Heck, even like a better approach would to have like every operator unlock their own like mini stage every time they ascend. On the Elite 0 to Elite 1, you have like one test, and then Elite 1 to Elite 2, you have another test. So yeah, that is Plume, my favorite operator so far in the game. I don't care about like the 6 stars, 5 stars, this girl is my favorite. She doesn't even have like an alternate outfit, right? Yeah, she doesn't even have an alternate outfit, and it's been 3 years! Come on, Hypergraph, please give her like an alter version, you know, like a 5-star maybe? Anyway, without degrading myself further, I think I'm going to leave the video right there.